Jim?
Yes, sir. Today what we have is, Mr. Pettis, Kevin Pettis from the wastewater treatment plant has been in contact with the, group that's actually looking at some options for cleaning up the lagoon. So we have the guys here today to talk about the proposal and look at what our options are for the city. So I'll turn it over to Kevin.
Okay, this stuff here, and when you guys want to step up to the mic at the same time, so you can fill in the gaps, but, this,
Anything smart will get Mason up here. Technical.
this is a treatment to kill algae and it also chews up the bottom layer of the sludge. So, these guys agreed to come in and rid the pond of algae at no cost. And it's, I guess for you guys, it's an advertisement. And all this stuff works.
We've been testing this now for some 8 years. We've been moving forward with the waste sludge for about 4 years. My name's Bob Long. This is Mason McLemore, John Eric Long, and we're investor owners in the company. We didn't develop it. Randall Pageant developed this. It's patented. It's a completely organic product. And honestly, there isn't anything on the market like it. It's just actually pretty amazing. We've had numerous PhDs research this, and they're just baffled by how it works. Tell them, see how it works. It's not how we put it together. It makes a difference. What it will do, municipalities, cities, whatever, we can apply it to your waste treatment facilities. Any waste treatment facility, you do not have to modify your facility in any way. You have basically you have no cash outlay. No changes have to be made, except that you're going to reduce your outlay of expense and cost. We work on a savings. In other words, we'll get paid out of the money that you save, not money you have to spend. If it costs you hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars a year, or over a period of years, to remove your sludge, have it pulled out, and then carried off in the tipping fees and so forth, and all that goes along with that, the chemicals that have to be put in, pipes that have to be cleaned out when you're pumping your liquid out to the fields. A lot of times it's algae, and some of the solids will clog that up. What our culture, it's a yeast culture, will do is when we put it in there, it's going to consume the phosphates, the nitrates, some of the nitrates, and most of the bacteria right off the bat. It thrives on that. And it consumes all cellulosic material. And ultimately, it will consume the waste that's in that pond. Your savings will come, you won't have to empty that pond. Over in Osceola, Georgia, they had a 12-acre pond that averaged about 4 to 4.5 feet of sludge. And after 5 months, and then we sonared it and we plunged it with a clear pipe to measure that over a period of 5 months. After that 5-month period, there was about 1.5 to 2 foot of sludge. And it's staying now down around a foot, 1.5 feet. And all during that time, 24 hours a day, they've got solid waste going into that lake, into that lagoon. We did the dairy farm up in Troy, Alabama. I don't know if you don't have the pictures. If you look at our website, Alternative Breed Today, you look at the pictures of this dairy farm. They're pumping 100,000 gallons of agricultural waste, animal waste, out of the feed barn and the milk barn every day, with at least 2,000 pounds of waste. And that pond was just an open septic tank. It was clear to the top in many places with the solid waste, and it just was nasty. We treated it twice, and went back to treat it the third time, and it looked like a regular farm pond. We did treat it the third time. We did this at the request of the rural water development people in Montgomery, because they were about to shut his farm down because of that pond. The other thing we did is before we treated it the first time, we took a test out of there. They requested that we send it off to Waters Laboratory in Georgia, and it was showing some 26 million CFU of Listeria, E. coli, all types of pathogens. Before we treated it the third time, we took a test out, sent it back to them the same way, and that test came back that the pathogens were gone. It was down to zero, basically zero. Because this culture is very voracious toward bacteria. So what we're proposing is that we understand, Kevin made it quite clear that he didn't have a large budget to accommodate this right now. So we said, well, let's do this. We talked about it back then, said, let's do this. We're real close. It's not like we've got a test going right now out in Arizona. That's a long haul for us. We've got people down in Palm Beach County right now in Okeechobee. We're talking to about the possibility of we're going to have a program to treat that algae down there, which we can do. What they're talking about doing is they want to get out there and treat the big lake or treat it out on the coast, and that's not. You have to treat these things at the source, like we would treat yours right there at that lagoon, or in the big tanks either way. Down there, we'd have to treat it at the dairy farms, at the waste treatment facilities, and the sugarcane mills that are pumping in there is creating a problem. The rest of it will eventually clean itself up. This stuff will work its way out if it's continually utilized to treat. What we're proposing here is we'll come in here, and we're going to treat this for a couple of months. It may take us 3 months, at no cost to you. We're not going to ask you for a contract, we're not going to ask you for anything. We want to show you that it works. When we're done, we'd like a letter of validation it does work, because we know it's going to work. It's going to take care of your algae. It's going to solve any problems with algae clogging up your lines for your spray lines and stuff like this. pH is going to balance. It's going to consume some of your solids. We don't know how much. We measured. We did a sonar test on it the other day. You got an average of about 7.5 foot of solids in there. It ranges from 5 feet to 13 feet, 13.5 feet. So the average is about 7 foot of solids in there now. If you use this product on a regular basis, you will never have to worry about that. We'll be able to tell you after 60 to 90 days just how much it has consumed. We'll do another sonar test in again, no cost to you. And then we hope that you'll think enough of us to give us a shot at this. I can't stand here and tell you how much it's going to cost. It won't cost over $20,000 a month. It might be significantly less. We've got to calculate this. We're doing it, like I say, at our cost, no cost to you now. We got to calculate exactly how much it's going to take. We don't know yet. We don't have to treat it with 500 gallons twice a week or just once a week. And then once it's stabilized, though, then it'll be something that you'll be able to do here. You guys, it'll be simple for them to do. You got a good crew down there. Like I say, there's no cost. We have our MSDS documents there. We're strictly organic product. If there's any question about whether it's going to hurt your system, your water anyways, we can go out there with a couple shot glasses and we'll drink a shot of our stuff and you drink a shot of yours. Got any technical questions? I'll get Mason up here.
I like the idea. It sounds like commercial Rid-X to me.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's no sawdust in this.
Right.
We're going to be there, as a matter of fact. We've got it now. We can freeze dry it, so we can do that eventually.
And I spoke to Kevin a little bit about this yesterday and asked the question that really we all should be asking: how much time do we have left on our lagoon before it's time to dredge? Less than, probably right around 10 years.
10 years the most.
And the last time it was dredged was a cost of about $3 million. That was back in 1996. I'm sure the costs have gone up. So this is something that I think we need to think about. Maybe not necessarily this year. Let's see if this works. I mean, if we see a big reduction, this is a great alternative to dredging in my mind.
I don't eliminate a lot of costs. You eliminate labor costs. You eliminate chemical costs. There's a lot of things going to be eliminated when you start reducing all that algae and bacteria, eliminating it, and reducing those solids out there. It's going to clean all the problems down. And odor too. When you have that.
Yeah, I was out at wastewater Friday and talking to staff and realized we do have an issue. And we've got to come up with some kind of plan. Seems like you're here at the right time. I'm all about free, but I also want to be fair too.
Well, look, we're guaranteed 100%. We do that whether it was you or whether it was any other facility. We guarantee our product to work 100%. So you don't have any initial cash outlay anyway. Our normal contracts will say at the end of 90 days, when it's obvious that it's worked, we continue to measure it and so forth, and you're validating it, you're doing your testing and so forth. You see your pH is balanced, your BOD levels, your TSS levels are like they're supposed to be. Then we want to be compensated back for that 3 months and to continue on. We'd like to have a 5-year contract or a 10-year contract. But it's going to be simple and it's going to be a whole lot less expensive than anything else you're going to do. And it's green. It's completely green. There is no chemicals to this. There's no way it will harm anything or anybody. It's only going after the bacteria, phosphates and like that. Those are things we don't want to spray out on the grounds.
Have you treated a lagoon this size? So have you treated anything that with this 75 acres?
No, we have not. Most of these lagoons in the United States, there's very few lagoons going to be
That's the one
78
thing.
acres. But the largest one we've done is 12 acres over in Osceola, Georgia. And like I say, we went from 4.5 feet down to 1.5 feet inside of five and a half months. But within 3 weeks, the oxygen, it was dead. The oxygen levels were off, the UD levels, the TSS levels, everything were in bad shape. And they came back within just about a few weeks. I mean, they were back and running, there was fish swimming in the pond, they were happy. And they're happy to this day. They'd be glad to talk to you. Bruce would be happy to hear from any of you personally.
He's not answering the cell phone today.
It's a small town. Bruce wears many hats.
That's the one thing I've been trying to put my arms around is how much chemicals it would take to treat a 75 acre lagoon.
Well, that's what we're trying to calculate. What we're doing, for example, we stepped up 2 pounds of our culture. We just normally we step it up overnight to 250 gallons in 24 hours. It's been sitting there now for 48 hours, so we need to get it in there. But we're thinking probably initially we're going to probably need to do 1,000 gallons a week initially. Once we get it stabilized, once it's stabilized, what do you think, Mason, realistically?
We can reduce it back down to about 500 once a week.
And I mean, that's something you'll be able to do here, because we'll provide you there'll be a trailer, have everything set up in it. All you guys have to do is put water, add water, stir. Everything will be there to pump it in. You won't have to modify or change anything. There's no cost to facilities at all.
I know you don't know. Go ahead.
The propagation phase that Bob was talking about, we're actually taking centrifuge culture and feeding it nutrients and biology to let them grow. So we're essentially growing billions of this biological and then injecting that in the bottom. So that's what the tanks are for. You're actually just raising it on site.
It's kind of like a probiotic, or we're putting in some good bacteria.
Exactly. That's exactly right. It's a lot like that.
Is Osceola still on a maintenance plan?
Yes. On a monthly maintenance plan.
I guess I would ask staff, what kind of budget do we have for this?
Well, right now, what you have is, we just went over the budget for Kevin for next year on stuff. The big expenses and movers you have right now with the Goonies, you've got the, we went ahead and paid for the sonic disruptors. We paid those out of pocket. But we have the, it's $82,000 a year is what we're paying for the, what they call the sonic, not sonic, solar. Aeration. So right now, you've got $82,000 a year you're spending for the solar aeration. Back in the day, we were spending, when we went out there, at one time, the city was spending $400,000 a year for aeration out there. We're not doing that nowhere near today. We turned all that stuff off, but there were astronomical costs in the lagoon.
Most of the lagoons have the 70, 75 horsepower aerators in it, from half a dozen to a dozen. And it costs thousands of dollars a month to run those things. If you had that, then we'd have you turn them off over about 15 minutes per hour, which would save you probably 60% of your cost. But you don't have that. So your electric bill on what you're doing out there now probably not too bad.
Really, well, the total bill is one thing, but the lagoon bill is nothing. We're not spending any money on the lagoon power.
I'm not sure about the pumps. What about the pumps, Mason? What size pumps you got?
Pumps.
Blowers.
There's no blowers.
There is none. You don't have that. You're not drying your stuff or anything like that.
I guess the other question would be the hypo. That would be the other question, Mark, on the, before it actually goes to the spray field. So yes, with hypo, I don't know if it would reduce the amount of hypo that you're utilizing.
Disinfection.
Okay, so we're going to eliminate your bacteria, your phosphates, a lot of nitrates. So you're not going to have to put that in there.
It looks like right.
How much is your hypo right now? Would probably be the question. How much is it?
30,000 a year. It eliminates some of that. I don't know how much yet. Like 75%.
There's a lot of unknowns at this point, but those are the kind of movers that what he spends the treatment plant.
So once we start this, I mean, we don't want to stop. I mean, we want to continue to plug on, the way I understand it. So we've got to have some kind of number,
Well,
to budget.
you know, I can't give you real numbers, we haven't done
anything this size.
We haven't done anything, you know, those kind of numbers yet with the, 78 acre pond. We think we know what it's gonna do. And we hit you on the high side, because that's all we, until we've got these numbers down. And that's part of the reason we're doing this gratis, is to see what it's gonna
See what
take.
it do.
I can tell you that it won't be more than that, but it could be significantly less.
Let me ask you this, if at the end of the day, we decided to move forward with this process, we see a worms and all, and we need to purchase X number of gallons a month, do you sell it in 50-gallon drums, you bring it in by the truck,
You'll get it- you'll
you
get
cook
in,
it and bring it to us?
You'll probably get it in, if it's freeze dried, it'll be an 8-ounce package. It'll look like instant Sanka. And that 8 ounces is equal to 2 pounds of our cream culture. We reduced 2 pounds of our cream culture down to 8 ounces freeze dried. So you either get the 2-pound packages, and then those 2 pounds or the 8 ounces, whichever you get, that'll step up overnight to 250 gallons.
Okay. If we had, if at the end of the day, we figure out we need 500 gallons a week, just hypothetically, what would 500 gallons a week cost right now? I guess that's the kind of question we're trying to get at. Just ballpark, if we figure out 500 gallons to take care of
I would think 1,500.
$1,500 a month or a week.
About 1,500 a week, maybe a little less.
You can save on shipping, so Kevin can pick it up.
Kevin, I'm gonna sell a lot of FedEx bill, yeah. That's why we're doing the freeze dried thing, because it's,
It reduces. the
or
freight
down here, we
cost.
don't even just get it to you, but when we ship it off somewhere, it's gonna be like overseas. We've got clients in Sweden and around South Africa, so big difference when you're trying to shoot green.
I have no problem with this, with the test. I think that it's a no-brainer. We gotta see what he can do. We'll find the money somewhere. It's almost that time. to
Of
start
course,
finding
today now, you're just asking us for permission to do the test.
That's it. Nothing,
And
not
the
asking,
answer
not
is-
asking for a contract, not asking for anything. Let us see what we can do for you, because it's gonna help us too. We've never had a lagoon this big. Our largest lagoon to date was the 12 acres. Now, we're getting ready to do a paper mill out in Louisiana. That's gonna be a big project, but I think that, I know it's gonna work. It's just we
What
gotta
I'm
determine
saying
how
is,
much
we
it's
give you
gonna
the
take.
okay today to do the test, and after you through all the tests and all, then we'll have to vote again.
Then you have an
whether to
option.
take the
Then you have an option,
contract.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Then you have an option. The only thing we're gonna ask you for this test is that at the end of the day, win, lose, or draw, you give us a letter.
I'll make the motion to go ahead and approve the gratis testing.
We have a motion from Commissioner Haskins, do I have a second?
I'll say.
Second from Commissioner McGuire. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Carry on. All right.
Good luck, guys.
Appreciate your time.
Appreciate it. My kind of deal. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Good.
We heard your word.
John, come on, Brennan.
Thank you for your time, appreciate it.
May I have your names again? And it is
Bob Long, L-O-N-G.
Absolutely, we appreciate it.
Mason McLemore,
McLemore,
McLemore.
M-C-L-E-M-O-R, yeah.
Okay, and John,
It's Jon-Aric, John Eric Long.
Initially started,
okay,
John Eric Long,
Long.
my son.
All right, sir, and the name of your administrative? Alternative
Green
Way,
today.
Green today. All right, sir, thank you.